Hey everybody, Tina B, back to lesson 3, right? We're talking about mindset and we are going on here. Lesson 3 to the Community Nation Roadmap. Thank you for joining me here. Lesson 3 is a very powerful lesson. Now, a little bit of housekeeping. We will have some short lessons and we will have some long lessons, okay? So I will try to keep it down as minimum. Now, this topic here is a pretty hefty topic in lesson 3 here. So, with that said, I will try to keep it to a minimum. Just remember, little housekeeping, just remember to make sure that you go up to the very top. You got to scroll up to the top and then click the mark to complete button, and that'll open up the next lesson for you, okay? These lessons are in chronological order, okay? There is a reason that I have that in here, okay? Because I want you to go step by step, all right? That way you're getting all the nutrients and deliciousness, that you need to, because it does compound on top of each other as the course goes on, okay? And then at the end of it, if you feel compelled to leave a comment, let other community people that are coming in and watching the Community Nation Roadmap course, add some good content and create some posts for it. And if you've got ideas and everything like that, we'd love to hear it. Love to hear you sharing your stuff. So you can definitely leave a comment below. Keep it positive, keep it constructive. That's what this community is all about, and we're going to remain that way. There are some rules in the community that you should follow and abide by, and those are under the terms and legal policies, terms and conditions noted in the hub. So anyways, okay, none of that. Okay, let's go. Let's move on. All right, we are going on to power of members versus followers. Power of members versus followers. Okay, very, very impactful lesson here. Okay, so let's define community. It's not as simple as some people like to think it is, okay? But it's very important to understand. A community is a group of people who are connected to each other, not just you, okay? Through shared values, goals, or interests, okay? They interact, support, and grow together inside a space that fosters connection like a hub, okay? I use definitions because they're very hard to debate, right? This is what a community definition is. So we connect to each other, not just the presenter, not just the community owner, and you do it through shared values, goals, and interests. It's also known as collaboration, right? Key traits: two-way or multi-way communication, right? If I put a post out there, I'm sure to get definitely some people to reply, right? Definitely. I don't know if you're part of a community yet, or if you've been part of a community before, but I've had the luxury to be a part of a few communities. One in particular is East Stage. Now, being part of that community for so long now, because it's a hub-centric, community-based, community-driven based platform, the community was very key, and being part of East Stage community was very key. I learned an awful lot. I mean, we've got doctors in there, millionaires in there. I mean, we've got people in there that have been affiliate marketers for decades. And so to learn from those people and to collaborate with those people gave me far more knowledge and information that I could have ever gained on any type of social media platform. And not only that, I could trust it, right? I could trust it. That's key. Number 2, shared identity or purpose, right? We're all there in East Stage, working on the platform, and we all have a common goal, and that is to talk and drive hub-centric, community-driven business concept, because that's where we're at, right? Number 3, ongoing participation. In a community, you want ongoing participation, and in that community, East Stage, it's always, I'm telling you, that is almost 4,000 members, which is a good number, by the way, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But there's almost at any given time 250 members on that community at all given times. okay, or more. In our private live streams, and meetings that we have, there could be upwards, I've seen before, almost 800 members on a private live. And it's pretty freaking cool. So, and again, the community is uplifting, upbeat. There's a presenter, and we're all listening, participating. It's pretty awesome. So, built on belonging, trust, and transformation. See, that word trust came up again, right? I can trust people in the community because I know that they're thinking like me, right? As opposed to somebody on social media, I don't know what they're thinking, right? Know, like, and trust, right? When you're part of a community, you start to know people in there, members, like certain members, and trust, right? So, and when you're doing that inside a community, that know, like, and trust grows a lot bigger, and it does grow faster than you could do on social media. So people show up for each other. Friendships and collaborations are created. So let's go into the definition of followers, right? A follower is someone who subscribes to your content but doesn't necessarily engage beyond passive consumption. They are a part of your audience, not your ecosystem, right? Key traits: one-way connection. They follow, you post. They follow, you post. They'll give you a thumbs up, you post, okay? Shallow or sporadic interaction. Yeah, it's becoming more and more and more and more and more shallow. I've seen really good content creators that are in the affiliate and digital marketing space that have lowered their standards to try to grab attention on social media. One in particular, lady out there that I liked to listen to before, she had lowered her standards and started drawing lipstick on her face as she was talking about whatever it was that she was talking about. And I lost respect right then and there. Because, come on, if you don't have something powerful enough to say without drawing lipstick on your face, I don't know. But then again, it's social media, right? It's crazy out there. It's a circus, right? But could you imagine if she had her own community? She is such a hard worker, and she's done so awesome out there for herself. If she had her own community, I mean, she can flourish without having to draw lipstick on her face. So I'm going to actually shut this phone on silent. All right, limited loyalty or ownership, right? You have limited loyalty out there, and you definitely don't own any of the space you're on out there. Controlled by algorithms and the platform owners, right? They got their rules. You have to abide by them. And if you don't, you risk losing all your content, or you risk getting kicked off. I've seen it. I know you have too. You've seen it where people have gotten kicked off their lives. They've gotten booted out. Their accounts have gotten suspended. I mean, this even happened on YouTube. I mean, there was a guy, if you just put it in there, people losing their YouTube channel. And you'll see the videos. They talk about how long they worked to get those subscribers, how long, how many months, how many years. And because they did something that was a rule without knowing it, they got booted off. They got suspended. Their account got suspended. Or you got to go through an appeal. So all business stops. It's not good. You don't want to have control by algorithms or platforms. Algorithms are the worst. I mean, it's so many people. If you put 1,000, if you say to TikTok, hey, how do I get 1,000 members? The algorithm on that, you will be bombarded for an hour with videos that'll come across your feed, okay, your For You, that'll talk all about how to get followers and massive amounts of followers. Which, by the way, they're all wrong. They're all wrong. They don't know how to get followers. They don't own the platform, right? Hey, that may have worked for them for a day or two, right? It doesn't work for them every week. So, and listen to all the people just talking about that, putting that out there, because they're the kind of people that want follows, they want likes, they want engagement, and that's one way to get people to beef up your follower count out there. Totally wrong. Oh, it drives me crazy. But anyways, 5, you must pay to play. You must, right? And even when you pay to play, it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work, right? You gotta pay to push your videos out there for people to watch. And who the heck knows where TikTok is pushing those? Because I can tell you, I've never seen more foreigners come across my page and my lives after paying to push something out. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's shallow. Shallow is the perfect word. So followers watch from the bleachers. They don't play in the game. So what would you rather have? The core difference: community, mutual connection, purpose-driven, high engagement, built on ownership, which is your space. Believe me, there are communities that you can build out there on rented space. And I'm not talking about social media. So be sure not to do that, okay? Because that is no different than social media. And I go into that in the further lesson down the course, okay? I'll explain that to you. You want to be able to own your space, your own community. Own it, okay? And that means the platform too. And I'll show you how to do that, okay? I'll show you by going over all of it. Monetizable, sustainable, and I should put in there scalable, okay? Followers, one-directional attention, content-driven, passive engagement, built on rented land, social media you don't control, unpredictable and fleeting. I tell you, the best adjective for social media is unpredictable. It's just unpredictable. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care who thinks they're the greatest person out there on social media. You're not going to be able to predict it, right? So, with that said, let's go to the next lesson. Oh, you know what? I think what I'm going to do here, let me do this. So, influence comparison diagram. This is a really cool presentation on this one. Okay, but before I get into that, I want to kind of go over some statistics with you. I did a deep research. I wanted to find out what the engagement rates were in 2024 to 2025 on certain social media platforms, okay? And I wanted to go in and compare that to what are the social engagement percentages on private communities, right? Okay, so here's what I found out. Average organic reach and engagement rates 2024 to 2025. Facebook, 0.07% to 1.3%, okay? Now, this is based on algorithms, based on organic reach, average engagement rate. Average engagement rate, guys. Facebook, 0.07% to 1.3%. Instagram, 0.43% to 3.5%. Thank gosh Zuckerberg has a plan B, I guess, right? Because he owns Instagram, or Facebook runs Instagram. But a little better than Facebook, eh? Where does that tell you where Facebook is right now? Where does that tell you? I've not been on Facebook in 10 years. I don't like it, never will. Nobody will ever convince me to go back to him. But 0.07 to 1.3 versus Instagram, 0.43 to 3.5. That tells you where Facebook is at. LinkedIn, this is nuts. LinkedIn, if you haven't gotten into LinkedIn, think about it. 4.73% engagement. That's pretty decent. And it's not really a social media platform per se. It's more leans towards professionals, B2B, business to business, entrepreneurs. And it's very, very professional. And and even though it's laid out like a social media platform, it's pretty freaking cool. I've really gotten into LinkedIn lately. But look at that, 4.73% engagement rate. TikTok, 1.5% to 2.63% to all you TikTokers out there. LinkedIn is kicking TikTok's boutoir. Twitter X, I'm not even going there. Very low. I'll tell you what, though. Yeah, the lowest. Yeah. All right. So with that, it says strategic takeaways, right? Given the limited organic reach, focusing on high quality, engaging content is more effective than frequent posting. That's a conundrum. How in the world can you focus on high quality, engaging content on social media? It is so noisy. It's a circus. It's crazy. I mean, I don't even know if there's 1 second scroll rates on there. That's how it's crazy. Focus on high quality, engaging content is more effective than frequent posting. Well, heck, TikTok is about frequent posting. Very rarely do I see high engaging content, right? Leverage video content. We all know about that. Now, I didn't go over YouTube because YouTube is not really a social media platform. It's more of a search engine, video search engine. It's got its own unique issues, characteristics, but far better than Facebook and TikTok, I think. It says here, engage with your audience. Prompt responses and interactive content can boost visibility. It's always talking about interactive content. How can you have interactive content on social media? It's a conundrum. How can you do that? We already know followers is a one-way road. So how can you have any type of interactive content, right? And consider paid promotion. To overcome algorithmic limitations, strategic use of paid ads can enhance reach. Oh my gosh. Right? To who though? Who are we reaching? Who are they sending my stuff to? Right? I can tell you that it's not the people I'm looking for. No control. Not your platform. No control. But they got your money, didn't they? And think about this. Think about all the stuff they're doing every month, 2 months, 3 months. Think about what these platforms are always putting out to retain your attention. To have you keep coming back. Think about what they do. I mean, TikTok Shop, great for people that are making money, but they're also 1099 subcontractors for TikTok. All right, don't tell me that they're entrepreneurs. They're 1099 subcontractors for TikTok Shop. That's what they are. All right, so now this is pretty cool. This is very, very cool. All right, so remember the numbers I gave you, okay? They were all low percentages. Highest is LinkedIn, 4.73%, 4.73%, 4.73%, LinkedIn. All right. Now, engagement benchmarks in private online communities. On average, only 15%. 15. We're already starting out at what? 9% more? 15% of community members are active within a 120-day period, either by logging in or participating in discussions. We're already 9% higher than the average social media platform. It gets better. It gets awesome. Monthly communities average 506 unique logins, with 14% of those users actively contributing to discussions. 14%. All right, there's a 99-1 rule, okay? The evolution beyond the 99-1 rule. The traditional 99-1 rule, 90% lurkers, 9% contributors, 1% creators, is becoming outdated. Recent studies show that in small communities under 5,000 members, 33% of members are actively creating or contributing content. 33% in communities that are less than 5,000 members. Now, listen, no way should you ever want any more than 5,000 members in your community. That is even high, because look at the engagement. The engagement's going to go down the higher that number goes up. Okay, because then you're turning into a social media, right? So that is pretty awesome. 33% of members are actively creating or contributing content. Recent studies have shown in small communities under 5,000, right? Now listen, it doesn't mean that you can't grow your community to 10,000, whatever, right? It's a numbers thing. It's fine, because you see that, a limited percentage are engaging, right? So, but this is really even better. In communities that influence 16% or more of a company's revenue, right? In communities that influence 16% or more of a company's revenue, 64% report strong community engagement. In contrast, only 26% of communities influencing less than 15% of revenue report strong engagement. Strong engagement, strong engagement. What does this mean? A significant 78% of community members have asked questions within their communities. 78%. Y'all. What? While 63% believe they have been heard and 70% often do so. That means often get heard. Are you getting heard? I mean, are you getting any type of engagement on social media? Nope. Nope. That's a big fat nope. All right, key takeaways, quality over quantity. Focusing on meaningful interactions can lead to higher engagement rates, especially in smaller communities. That's important. And we'll go into that too, okay, later on in the course. Smaller communities, okay? When I had my own construction companies, I focused on small amount of customers so that I can provide service and engaging with them on their builds, okay? When I was back in construction, whew, I'm glad I'm not there anymore. Anyways, encourage content creation. Empowering members to create and share content can significantly boost overall engagement. Monitor and adapt, right? Okay. Nowhere on here does it say pay to play. Nowhere on here does it say that. Why? Because you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. You don't have to do ads, right? Inside your own community. Because you're engaging people. You're listening to them. It's heart to heart, baby. Isn't that interesting, though? Look at the high numbers based on the social media numbers. I've said enough. True influence is like a lighthouse, grounded, guiding, and impossible to ignore. That's right. When you see a lighthouse, it's almost majestic, isn't it? It stands there on the rock, and it's protecting the coastal line there. And it's just, the beacon is, you can't ignore that, right? Viral influence is like fireworks. Flashy but fleeting and ultimately disappears. I get so engaged I kind of slip off my chair. Okay, so I'm going to shrink myself here because we're really done looking at me. All right, this is pretty cool. All right, 5 levels of generating true influence, okay? This is true influence, you guys. This is very, very important, all right? We're going to talk about the very bottom row. And I have dollar signs next to this because this is the value of what people make in these certain spots, all right? It's very easy to follow. Some of you may have already seen this pyramid, and some of you guys may have not. But I was enlightened when I saw it, and I thought it was a great thing to bring forth, because this is where everybody ultimately wants to go, right? Nobody wants to be a generalist. Everybody wants to get to that celebrity authority, right? So a family doctor is like a generalist, right? They know a little about a lot, right? Nobody knows their name. You might even forget your family. Yeah, doctor. Anyways, specialist. Okay, that's an ankle and foot doctor, a chiropractor, somebody who specializes in something. And they make a little bit more money, and they're a little well known, and the research for them is a little bit more prominent, right? We're getting there. Authority. Maybe a lot of you don't know him, but Dr. Les Carter. Okay, I think his name is Les Carter. Anyways, Dr. Carter. He specializes, and he's an authority on narcissism. Psychiatrist. He's phenomenal. And you may or may not know him, but he's primarily on YouTube, and I couldn't believe that. I just sat and went, oh my God, if he had his own community, holy moly. Okay. Anyways, Dr. Carter specializes in talking about narcissism and how to handle it. Unbelievable in his arena. Really awesome. Now, celebrity. Hey, look, we all know celebrities, right? Ben Affleck, Meryl Streep, okay? We know him, right? Justin Bieber. All right, so the celebrity authority. Now, this is where everybody wants to get to, right? Now, I couldn't fit a gazillion dollar signs, but I do want to tell you something. Celebrity authority, somebody like who? Who do we know that's a celebrity authority? Who can you think of? A lot of times, especially as entrepreneurs, we go right to Tony Robbins, don't we? He's a celebrity authority, right? And what is he a celebrity authority over? The mind, right? Your mindset. The power of the mind, right? Back in the day, and he's got an amazing original story and backstory. He's got an amazing story, right? But he's also been in movies. Everybody over the world knows him. Everybody, internationally, nationally. Tony Robbins, right? Now, let's go back down to celebrity. Let's pick Ben Affleck. Do you think Ben Affleck makes more than Tony Robbins? Tony Robbins has built his wealth to $1 billion empire. Ben Affleck's not a billionaire. Takes a lot to get to $1 billion. So anyways, do you see why this is why everybody wants to get to the celebrity authority, right? Not only is it they can make the most ultimate money, have the most ultimate life, have the recognition, right? Celebrity authority. So this is why everybody talks about dialing down your niche. What are you passionate about? What do you want to talk about? He was passionate about focusing on empowering his life. And he wanted to do that for everyone else. He put himself through it. He put the work in. And then he went around and he spread the word. Just like Jesus, right? Jesus is the biggest celebrity authority, although he don't need no money. He's got the ultimate gift, right? Jesus is a big celebrity authority. And I think that this whole chart actually stems from people wanting to become Jesus. I really do. Or God, whatever you believe in, right? I really do. But anyways, for those of you who are religious, Jesus, some people would say, is a celebrity authority, right? But let's keep it off the religion, and I'm talking about this. So anyways, Tony Robbins, Bobby Flay. Bobby Flay is another celebrity authority, right? Everybody knows who Bobby Flay is. Yeah. That's interesting stuff, isn't it? So generalist is someone with broad knowledge in many areas. Specialist, someone who focuses on a specific topic, audience, or solution. Niche service targeted coach, right? Credible, skilled, and solution oriented. Begins to attract specific tribe. Okay, greater demand, more referrals, higher perceived value. The first layer of content starts to resonate deeply. Authority, recognized leader with proven results, education, or thought leadership in their field. Go on. Celebrity, a visible figure with social recognition in their niche or industry, right? Justin Bieber. Not for so many good things now, right? Celebrity authority, the complete package, recognized and respected. Seen as a movement leader. Right? Even Trump. Trump can be considered a celebrity authority. Right? You may not like it, but he is. Right? Think someone who influences culture and drives real change. Iconic. Right? Their name, message, and mission are inseparable. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Total positioning power. People don't just buy from them. They believe in them. These people leave legacies. Right? You following me? Interesting. All right, now, that's true influence, okay? Now, let's talk about social media influence. Going viral. That's it, right? Going viral. Let's talk about the trend hopper, right? This person follows what's hot without strategy, mimics content without meaning, okay? Always one step behind the algorithm, chasing the next, hot side hustle, okay? That's a trend hopper, right? Nobody knows their name. They're just trending. They're just hopping. Side hustle to side hustle. Engagement chaser. This person's obsessed with likes, shares, and comments, and they make content for reactions, not results. Okay? Shallow metrics versus substance. When the engagement drops, so does their confidence. Okay? Niche entertainer. Builds a following within a niche, but still seen as a performer. Content entertains but doesn't convert. Funny, catchy, visible, but forgettable. That is a niche entertainer. Here's an Insta expert. Has authority in appearance, not necessarily in depth. High aesthetic, polished branding, all the right language. Can look like an authority, but most likely violating FTC rules. So back to that chick who's got 52,000 members 2-hour workday, $900 a day, da 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 da, breaking a whole bunch of FTC rules. Okay, you cannot say that. Even in your own private community, you cannot say that. Now, I know what she's trying to drive, and I'm not taking away from her success, okay? She deserves all the success that she gets, okay? But there's a little tiny thing she left out to the people that she was teaching. A little tiny thing, and we'll go back to that later on. And that would have made a difference. It would have made a difference to all those people. So, viral celebrity. Gains quick fame from a viral moment. Audience came for the moment, not the mission. High exposure, low retention, built like a firework, loud, bright, and gone fast. Charlie bit my finger. Right? Charlie bit my finger. Right? You remember that? That guy made a lot of money off that for many years. You know, he monetized very well off that. That is viral, right? That's a viral celebrity, right? But do we think about him anymore? No. Every now and again, he'll pop up under one of those, one of those shows. Where have they gone? Right? Because he has. He's been on that show. Viral celebrity. Now, here's a good story about a viral celebrity. But here's what that person did different. Matt, with Matt's RV reviews. I love this guy. I've been following him for years. I kind of know him myself. I have his phone number. We've talked, and Matt went viral on a video when he said, "This is a prime pooping position." Okay, because he was test out the toilets in the bathrooms, right? He would test out whether there was enough room in a camper, to pleasantly go number 2, right? So he went viral, literally in his own niche. He went viral. But what he did right was, he encapsulated that, and he built and built and built on top of that. And I'll tell you later, I go over his story at the end of this course, and I'll tell you what that did for him. I mean, he was smart. He's a very smart man, hard worker, always showing up. He would do phenomenal with the community, phenomenal. But that was a good viral celebrity moment, right? He built off it. He was smart enough to say, hey, you know what? I'm going with this. And he did. So, all right. That is the influence comparison diagram. And real quick, I'm going to move myself out of the way. If you want to take a snapshot, you can always refer back to the course. But this is basically what I've just read to you. And we're going to go on to the next one. Okay, it represents the truth path. This is the authority influence hierarchy. This is the true path, okay, to lasting influence. Basically, legacy. Okay? All right. Moving on. Ooh, fun stuff. Here, let me put myself right over this. There we go. Yeah. We can put it all over right there. Okay, now, I don't have to go into these too much. I think you guys get it, right? Social media, the advantages and disadvantages, right? I'm not saying social media is bad. What I'm saying is don't live on it. We're going to go into defining marketing and advertising here in a minute. And you'll understand where to use social media and how to use it. Okay? But don't live on it. All right? It's not good if you're sitting there marketing on social media. And the problem is the growth of affiliate and digital marketing through social media has gone so fast that there's people skipping education and knowledge here, and they're not understanding the difference between marketing and advertising. Okay? So, advantages, advertising. Disadvantages. You've got restrictions, right? You don't have restrictions in your community unless you apply them, right? You can apply them. You can make your own rules in your own community. Demonetized. That stinks for people who are really relying on those platforms to make money. Solely make money, right? I'll go to it again. You violate one little rule on TikTok Shop, there goes your whole income, right? Who knows how many weeks you're out? I don't know. I'm not a TikTok shopper. Pay to play. You got to pay to play to get seen on there. No control, rented space. You have no control. They have all the control. Negative drama. This is why I've covered this, and I should cover this, because negative drama, it's so dramatic. It's one thing to watch entertainment. It's one thing to watch entertainment on it And I love social media for just that entertainment. Some of y'all is just so damn funny out there. I follow some people that are funny because they just crack me up. Okay, but that's about the extent of my social media. Um, you know, binge watching. I will literally just follow people that make me laugh. But no control, negative drama. This is particularly worse on certain platforms than others. Minimums to use features. Okay, so let's explain that. Minimums to use features. TikTok had a minimum. You needed 1,000 members in order to use their live feature. YouTube has minimums on using some of their things as well. Although YouTube is not really a social media platform, but they do have restrictions because they're now all live, right? Every one of these has live platforms. Pinterest is really interesting. I'll go into Pinterest a little bit. I have a Pinterest account. That is like more like going to a library. You're not really on a social feed and scrolling and everything like that. You're looking for a particular thing. So it's kind of like a search engine. It's pretty cool, but it's all pictures. It's pretty neat. I'm just now getting into it. I don't know. There's something about that. And then, of course, I like LinkedIn. But anyways, negative, dramatic. You don't see negative and drama on LinkedIn very often at all. Very seldom. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Don't get me started. Algorithms. They all have them. You're never going to figure them out. I don't care who you think you are. You're just not going to be able to figure them out. You may have figured out for a day or 2 days. It's about right. Copyright issues. This is something big that really falls back on the person who's using the platform. You really need to know your copyright, but they have copyright issues. Trust issues. This was my biggest one, and I don't know about you guys. What do you think? I just don't know who's behind that little link in bio. I mean, honestly, people will DM me. I don't even know if that's the real person. I don't even know if I'm talking to the real person. Am I talking to a bot? Am I talking to a real am I talking to somebody who's acting like they are and trying to get me to buy something from them instead of the real content creator? Trust issues is really big. And then, of course, losing your account, losing it all. Go on to YouTube, like I told you. Put it in. Lost my account to YouTube. And you are going to see people who are just like, I cannot believe it. I mean, think about all these people. There's one girl on TikTok who has lost her account 4 or 5 times. It's like banging her head against the wall. She starts over and over and over. Boy, oh boy, she's the TikTok gal. And she just starts over and over and over. I remember seeing one guy who got kicked off his live in the middle of the live TikTok. And he literally said, hey, everybody, come over to this account and we'll, resume our live. Or come over to this account. I'm like, you just got kicked off your live on this platform. And now you're creating another account with the same platform that just kicked you off? Do you see what I'm saying? Let go. Let go of social media, man. Let go. Know how to utilize it. There are millionaires who are in affiliate marketing and digital marketing who do not get on social media, who do not post content, create content. They just don't. It's quite amazing. All right, lastly, let's go. Definition of advertising. We're almost done. Definition of advertising. Advertising is a tactic within marketing. It's the act of paying to promote a product, service, or brand through specific channels, online or offline. It is used to bring awareness to a product or a person. It is not meant to sit on social media and market, right? It is used to bring awareness to a product or person. How long do you think that takes? It includes social media, organic or paid, right? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to pay to promote, right? Organic or pay. TV, radio spots, sponsored posts or podcasts, billboards, print ads, etc., magazines, blah, blah, blah. So, to think, advertising is the look at me moment you pay for to get your message in front of eyeballs fast. Either organically, you don't pay for it, or you pay for it, right? But it's the look at me, look at my product, real quick, here's the awareness, da-da-da. Now, some people will argue with that. Some people are like, well, you shouldn't really be selling your product. Right. But in advertising, you can because it's only a 60-second clip. Right? So strategically lay out your advertising. Shouldn't be that long. That's why you don't see TV commercials going on past a minute. right? But yet some of you guys out there are creating content for 10 minutes. Okay, enough said. Enough said. I digress. Definition of marketing. Marketing is the strategic process of understanding, attracting, engaging, and retaining your ideal customer. You're not going to retain anybody through social media. We already defined follower. You can't retain, right? They come and go. Marketing is a strategic process of understanding, attracting, engaging, and retaining. That's the magical word. Your ideal customer. Number 1, market research. Vovoza. There's a link down below under this video. Vovoza is one of the best marketing tools you could ever have in your marketing and advertising toolbox. Okay, this is an online company that strictly talks about marketing, advertising, what's happening, what's taking place, trending, people that are trending. Talks about ideology of upcoming events. Talks about paid ads on Google, YouTube, has courses. I mean, it is a phenomenal, if you can get a subscription with it, it is a phenomenal tool to have in your toolbox. Really. That's where I do a lot of my research through Vovoza. Community messaging. Yeah. Right. Number 2, right? Community messaging. 3, branding. 4, mapping customer journey. 5, relationship building. Nowhere in there do you see the word pay. That's the definition of marketing, right? Think, marketing is the master plan. It is why, how, what, and who all working together to move people from awareness, advertising, to loyalty, customers for life. Okay, that's what you're in for. Customers for life, okay? All right, we want to build a community. We don't want to just have people come and go. Look, okay, so look at this. All right, so Apple, right? That's a hub. Okay? If you're an Apple freak and you love Apple, Mac, right? Then you go there, right? Now they have a community. Believe it or not, they have a community. Okay? So now it's a hub community, right? You're going to start to see that pop up quite a bit. All right? But yes, marketing is done inside your community. It is not done on social media at all. Advertising is where you want to do, is what you want to do on social media. And that should be very, very short and impactful. Okay? So 2 different strategies, 2 different definitions. So we learned a lot today, didn't we, on this lesson? We learned that followers are shallow, right? It's not the way to go. Community is whole. Marketing is different than advertising. So hopefully you were able to take a lot away from this lesson. Hey, listen, if you need to go through it real quickly again, skim through it. Pick up some points. There's a lot of writer-downers in this one. So I thank you for joining me here on this lesson. You guys, I will see you in the next lesson. This is Tina B out. We are going on and we are having fun in the sun.